In today's video, I'm going to break down this very costly and potentially life-altering decision to give you more clarity and confidence to make the right choice for you, your spouse, and your kids, as well as your finances. Hi, my name is Art Getz with the Health Benefits Network, where we give you the scoop on the latest ideas and innovations about health, healthcare, and health benefits that can make your life better. How can you possibly afford to cover your family on your employer's group health insurance? Or for that matter, is it really worth the investment at all? And as you might expect, when it comes to family finances and health insurance, the answer is just as clear as mud. The right answer depends on a number of variables and a whole lot of luck. And even then, it's going to be an entire year before you're going to know if you've made the right choice or not. But there are a few things that you can do to improve your chances with health benefits for your family. I'm going to discuss an alternative to protecting your family that many families actually prefer over traditional health insurance. This decision between health insurance and going without almost always involves a difficult emotional balancing act between your money and the health of your family. The consequences of getting this wrong would be devastating and very hard to live with. On the other hand, adding a family to most group health insurance plans can be super expensive. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially when your family's generally healthy. It's really expensive because most employers only subsidize the premium cost for the employee, but not for the whole family. So you're signing up for the full family premium on your own. And unless you've got a money tree growing in your backyard, you're going to have to cut back in other areas of your life just to pay the premiums. Now, I'm sure that many of you have already been to this rodeo. You already know that adding your family to company health insurance plans is just not in the cards. But before you give up on health benefits for your spouse and your kids, check with your employer. What's the deductible? What would the monthly premium be? This is the information that you'll need to consider insurance alternatives like health insurance exchange plans or even medical cost-sharing memberships like the ones that we covered in episode 9. It's called A Real First-Hand Experience with Medical Cost-Sharing. So before you take the blind leap and go without health insurance or lower your quality of life just to pay the high deductible and health insurance premiums, it's a good idea to step back and take an objective inventory of your financial situation as well as the health of your family. And whatever you do, don't be like most employees and wait until open enrollment is bearing down. This can force you into making a really bad decision that you get stuck with for an entire year or even longer if someone in the family gets sick while you've decided to go without any protection at all. So I tell people there are a few big threshold questions to ask. First of all, who are you protecting and against what? And are they really worth it? Okay, I'm just kidding about that part. Your spouse and kids are definitely worth protecting, but you really need to consider the likelihood that they will encounter any significant or uncovered health needs. And the reason I say uncovered is because many times large claims are due to an injury that is covered by some other form of insurance coverage. For example, workplace injuries would be covered by workers' compensation coverage, and injuries sustained in a vehicle accident would be paid under an auto policy. Next, ask yourself, how much could you actually afford to pay out of pocket if the feathers did hit the fan? This question applies both to the monthly premiums as much as the health insurance deductible and co-insurance. So you have to realize that the vast majority of health needs will never reach the family deductible. So it's a healthy exercise to run some hypothetical numbers. For example, what if you simply paid yourself the monthly premium and you put that money into an HSA account every month? You know, like a rainy day fund? It wouldn't take long at all to build up a nice pile of cash to help offset those unexpected medical bills. Sure, doing this would take some discipline, but if you stuck with it, that might be the best strategy if your family is generally healthy. Another pivotal question to ponder is just how much protection are you really getting from the health insurance? Many people treat health insurance like it's the best possible thing to have for your family's medical needs. They think as long as you have it, everything's going to be paid for. But remember, all health insurance comes with a hefty deductible that you pay out of pocket before anything else is covered. Then, after you've paid the deductible, the co-insurance kicks in. This is where you pay part of the bills up until your out-of-pocket maximum, which can be twice the deductible or even more. So read the fine print before adding your kids or spouse to your employer's group health insurance. So, before you jump on the health insurance bandwagon, it's important to know that health insurance is an annual thing. If you or someone in your family gets sick and you've already paid the full amount of the deductible and the health episode extends from 1 year into the next year, then you'll be expected to pay the full deductible amount again for the same illness. Don't you just love health insurance? You know, this is one of the biggest reasons that people choose medical cost sharing over traditional health insurance. Not only is medical cost sharing about half the price, but once cost sharing members pay their initial unshared part, the rest of the bills are fully shared, no matter how long the care continues. And always remember that health insurance is a month-to-month commitment. So don't forget to make those premium payments on time. If you get hit with a bunch of medical bills and you missed a premium payment, you won't have any coverage at all, just when you need it the most. So, if you decide to take your employer's family insurance coverage, it's always best to set up that payroll deduction. That way you'll never miss a premium payment, because health insurance companies are not known for their compassion. It's just business. So while the potential risk of large medical bills is very real and possibly large, health insurance does a masterful job of leaving a lot of that ugly risk squarely in your basket. So when you stop and look at group health insurance in this way, most families will come to the conclusion that the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. But you also have to know that this kind of decision will keep a parent up at night with worry. What if you guessed wrong and something bad happens to your kid and you declined the health insurance? Oh boy. So I think the big question here is, are there any better alternatives for your spouse and kids to your employer's group health insurance, or going naked with no protection at all? For sure, there are all sorts of defined insurance plans that you could sign up for. A defined benefit insurance policy is simply one where you pay a monthly premium, and if you end up in the hospital, then the insurance company pays a fixed amount each day. It's usually something like $1,000 per day of confinement. You may have heard of Aflac, you know, the one with the silly duck commercials? This is probably the best example of a defined benefit plan. There are a few concerns, though, to be aware of with defined benefits health insurance. First is that the benefit you get paid has nothing to do with the cost of the care you're receiving. You could end up with a false sense of security because the benefit is rarely going to be enough to cover the cost of your care. And you're still on the hook for 100% of the doctor and hospital bills. The insurance company won't negotiate your bills, and they won't pay the doctor for you. There are also illness-specific insurance policies that you can purchase. For example, cancer policies are very common, and if you have a family history of a particular type of illness, perhaps it might make sense to look into this kind of protection. Now, if you're seeking insurance coverage for your spouse or child who is dealing with a serious illness, then health exchange plans are probably worth looking into. The monthly cost for these will vary with the deductible and the network limitations, but will probably be very comparable to your employer's family premiums as well. So unless you qualify for a federal subsidy, then your employer's plan could still be your best option. And remember, even if you do qualify for a premium subsidy from the government, you will still have a deductible and co-insurance with any health insurance that you buy through the exchange. So buyer beware and carefully read the coverage and details before you decide. We work with a lot of families in helping them to make this decision. In my experience, the best way to cover a family is rarely adding them to your employer's group health benefits. We have found that medical cost sharing is consistently more affordable and suitable for healthy individuals and families. There's no big profit gobbling insurance company working to make a buck off the sickness of others. The monthly rates for the average cost sharing membership are typically about half what you'd expect to pay for a comparable health insurance policy. Depending on the medical cost sharing community that you choose, there are no network restrictions to limit your choices in care or travel. The other nice thing about medical cost sharing is that the deductible, which they call the initial unshared amount, ties to the episode of care and not the calendar. This means that once you've paid your part, any remaining bills are paid by the sharing community. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get better. We want to hear from you, so please leave your questions and thoughts in the comment section below. To make sure that you enjoy more videos like this, please subscribe to this channel. Click on that notification bell, as we'll be bringing you more healthcare benefit news and stories like this. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your colleagues, friends, and family, because they all have a health insurance problem too.